We're going to go ahead and begin the read aloud of Attack from Outer Space. It begins on page 20 of the February issue of the Storyworks. Make sure you're following along. If for some reason you have not gotten yours yet, you can follow along on this screen. Okay, so Attack from Outer Space. A huge fireball from space exploded above a Russian city, injuring more than 1,000 people, and no one saw it coming. Could It Happen Again? By Justin O'Neill, art by Gary Hanna. And as we are reading, we're going to think about the skill of problem and solution. So the two articles tell us about a problem that Earth faces and possible solutions. Look for these as you read. All right. As the sun rises on February 15th, 2013, the people of Chelyabinsk, Russia, start their mornings as usual, eating breakfast, driving to work, and heading to school. But the 1.1 million residents of this busy city are in for a very unusual day. This morning, a space rock 65 feet across, about as wide as your school gym, is headed directly for Chelyabinsk, and nobody has any idea. This rock has been circling close to Earth for thousands of years. Finally, this morning, it enters our atmosphere, the layer of gases that surrounds our planet. Zooming toward Earth's surface, the rock gets hotter and hotter. The heat is so intense that the rock starts to crumble as it travels 40,000 miles an hour, more than twice as fast as most rockets at liftoff. Now it's about 15 miles above the ground, and it won't be long until it explodes. The residents of Chelyabinsk gawk, puzzled, as a brilliant fireball streaks across the blue-pink morning sky and disappears in a blinding flash of light brighter than the sun. An eerie trail of smoke is left behind. Some people run outside or go to the windows for a better look. Others pull their cars over, alarmed. What was that? A missile? A plane crash? Aliens? 2 uneasy minutes pass. And then, boom, smash. Thunderous bangs echo as invisible shock waves shake Chelyabinsk. Walls collapse, people are knocked to the ground, windows shatter, flinging razor-sharp shards of glass into homes, schools, and offices throughout the city. In a single instant, about 1,500 people are injured. They are lucky. It could have been worse. Rocks from the sky. Ever look up at the night sky and see a shooting star? Beautiful, yes. Don't let the name confuse you, though. A shooting star is not really a star. It's a meteor, the stream of light produced when a rock burns up in Earth's atmosphere. Our solar system includes millions of rocks, such as asteroids, which are large space rocks, comets, which are part rock and part ice, and meteoroids, smaller space rocks. Especially large and bright meteors like the one in Chelyabinsk are called fireballs. Any pieces that land on Earth are called meteorites. Mentions of sacred rocks from the sky appear in writings from ancient civilizations. The Egyptians called meteorites metal from the sky and turned them into special jewelry and short, sharp knives called daggers. The Greeks and Romans saw fallen space rocks as messages from the gods. The ancient Chinese carefully recorded meteor showers. It wasn't until 1794, though, that a German physicist, Ernst Chladni, proposed that meteorites come from outer space, but no one took him seriously. The common belief at the time was that rocks that fell from the sky came from Earth, having been first swept up by strong winds. Then, in April 1803, thousands of meteorites fell on the French town of L'Aigle. A physicist named Jean-Baptiste Biot went to investigate. Biot's research finally convinced scientists that rocks can and do fall from space. Now we know that space rocks are leftovers from when the planets of our solar system formed about 4.5 billion years ago. Like the planets, the rocks move around the sun in circles called orbits. Generally, they stay in the asteroid belt, an area between Mars and Jupiter. But sometimes they knock into each other, bouncing around like bumper cars, and stray close to us. Each day, Earth is bombarded by some 100 tons of space debris. most of which burns up in the atmosphere without causing any harm. But if an asteroid larger than a mile across were to hit Earth, it would be a catastrophe. 66 million years ago, an asteroid likely led to the extinction of the dinosaurs. That asteroid was 6 miles across. It crashed off the coast of what is now Mexico. Scientists believe dust clouds from the explosion blocked out the sun, perhaps for months, causing plants and animals to die. Could that happen again? Another close call. The last time a meteoroid caused as much damage as the one in Chelyabinsk did was more than 100 years ago, by chance also in Russia. On the morning of June 30th, 1908, a farmer named S.B. Semenov was sitting on the porch of a trading post in Siberia, a vast area in eastern Russia. Suddenly the sky lit up, and a shock wave knocked him to the ground. He felt fierce heat, writing later, "It almost burned the shirt off me." Semenov was more than 40 miles away from the center of what has become known as the Tunguska event. Tunguska is a faraway region of the Siberian wilderness. With the force of nearly 200 atomic bombs, the explosion felled 80 million trees across an area more than twice the size of New York City. But because Tunguska is so remote, it took decades for scientists to piece together what happened. The mystery inspired bizarre theories: a UFO explosion, a science experiment gone wrong, a black hole passing through the planet. In fact, what happened in Tunguska was just like what happened in Chelyabinsk, except the Tunguska meteor was much larger and much closer to the ground. These events are extremely rare. Few of today's scientists ever imagined they would live to see anything like it. Very large asteroid events, like the one that probably doomed the dinosaurs, are even more rare. They happen only once every 100 million years or so. We're not alone. What happened in Chelyabinsk is a reminder of something that's easy to forget. We live on a planet that is drifting through space, and we are not alone. Drifting along with us are objects that may someday pose a threat. But scientists around the world are working feverishly to ensure that such an event never happens again. And fortunately, no one in Chelyabinsk was killed. Most of the injuries were minor. Many people in the area have a new hobby: hunting for meteorites. Even small fragments of the fireball can be worth thousands of dollars. If you were to see a meteorite, though, you probably wouldn't think it was anything special. Most look an awful lot like boring old black rocks. You'd probably walk right by it. Okay, we're going to move on to the second text, the text that's paired with the attack from outer space text. If you haven't figured out what the problem is thus far, you should be able to figure it out by the time we get through this second text. So what problem does Earth face? And what are some solutions for fixing that? All right, this text is called Planet Protectors: How Scientists Are Keeping Earth Safe from Future Asteroid Disasters. Sooner or later, another space rock, like the one that exploded over Chelyabinsk, will come hurtling toward Earth. But the world's top scientists are working to make sure that when it happens, we'll be ready. NASA, America's space research agency, uses powerful telescopes to scan the sky for asteroids, meteoroids, and comets. Along with other space agencies around the world, NASA has already found 95% of the very largest asteroids, and scientists are building newer, stronger telescopes that will be able to spot smaller space rocks. Finding space rocks is the first step to protecting the planet. The next step is figuring out where they're going. The B612 Foundation, an organization founded by former astronauts, is hoping to help with that. B612 is working to create a high-tech digital map of all the asteroids in our solar system that are close to Earth. The map will track the movements of the asteroids and predict whether they are heading our way, looking both ways. But even if we knew that a large asteroid was coming toward us, could we do anything about it? The experts at B612 say yes. Scientists have explored many different ideas, from shooting the asteroid with lasers to blasting it apart with a bomb. But most agree the best plan would be to redirect the asteroid away from Earth by crashing an unpiloted spacecraft into it. If we couldn't do that, we might at least have time to evacuate a city like Chelyabinsk before an explosion. And so according to B612, there's no reason to panic. Asteroids are just part of the universe. We can't change that, but we have the technology to help us prepare for future impacts. We do lots of things to protect ourselves, says Diane Murphy, a spokeswoman for B612. Just like we look both ways for cars when we cross the street, we need to look both ways for asteroids.